everybody, how you doing? All right, so we're going to do some strength training today. We're going to be using the band and some dumbbells, or again, whatever you have available around the house. Just like we talked about before, use whatever you've got, anything that weighs a little bit, around the appropriate weight that you want to use. Go ahead and try to find something that is similar to that. And we are actually going to be starting with the band today. So if you have a regular band like we normally use in gyms, you can go ahead and use that. If you have a TheraBand like they use in physical therapy, the flat one, you can use that. If you don't have that, go ahead and just skip forward a little bit to the dumbbell part. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put a little bit of background music on for you today. So now I'm going to be doing these from the chair. Many of them you can actually do in the seated or the standing variation, excuse me. But I'm going to be doing them in the chair just so that it's appropriate for all levels. So all levels can do these. Get a little music going here. All right, hang with me here. It's taking a couple seconds. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our band. Oh, I can't turn that off. Let's go ahead and get started with our band, and we're going to begin with it underneath the feet today. So remember, when you put your band underneath your feet, you want to make sure that it's really secured underneath your arches and that it's not going to come off and snap you in the nose. So that's very important to make sure it's hooked all the way underneath your feet. I know you can't completely see my feet here, but you get the idea. So make sure it's secured under your arches. You're going to keep your toes down. You're going to keep your heels down. We're going to start with some rows. So we're focusing on upper back and arms for this first one. Make sure your ends are even, and go ahead and shorten up your band. You're going to want to grab it down closer to your feet. So you're not going to need, you're going to want to grab closer to your feet. You're not going to want a lot of slack on this particular one. Now from here, you're going to lean halfway forward to make sure you keep the back, just the normal curvature of the spine. Pull up, pull the elbows back, shoulder blades towards each other behind you, and then release it out. So what I'd like for you to do is visualize. So think about those big muscles of the upper back, those pulling muscles. This is what we're going for here. So really think about as though you had somebody's fingers touching your backbone and you're trying to squeeze their fingers between your shoulder blades. Or a pencil, you're trying to squeeze it with your shoulder blades. Elbows up. Now remember to breathe. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. If you prefer, exhale on the pull, inhale on the release, or whatever feels comfortable for you. Let's just do a couple more of those. All right, good. From here, let's go ahead and sit all the way back up. Make sure that your band is still secured under your feet, and we're going to do a 45-degree lateral raise. So we're not going to go quite all the way out to the side. Let me back up a little bit so you can see this better. We're not going to go all the way out to the side, and we're not going to go all the way forward. So we're going to shoot for about 45 degrees. Make sure your band is still secured under your feet, and you're lifting up and down. Now, if this is really easy, go ahead and shorten it up again. Make sure you always use that length to your advantage. So you don't want it too hard. You want it challenging enough that if you get just above shoulder height, you feel that band trying to pull you back down. Make sure you're breathing through it. You're not elevating the shoulders up towards the ears. Keep them down and just use the deltoids. Good job. All right, let's go ahead and switch to biceps. So for this one, you can either stay here seated if you want to do the seated variation. I am going to show you a standing variation on this one so that you can add a squat if you'd like to do that. So the seated version is just bringing the feet out further apart and then doing your bicep curls either just with the ends, or again, the option to grab some of the band down lower and shorten it up. And then the standing variation, we're just going to come up to standing here. Let me scoot back a little bit. All right, so make sure that your band is still secured under your feet and elbows are tucked in. Now we're going to add the squat in. So you have feet about hip width apart. As you come down, go ahead and sit down like you were going to sit in your chair. Remember, this part, this lower body part, is completely optional. It's up to you. If you want to do the whole thing seated, or if that's more appropriate for you, go ahead and just stay seated. That's fine. We'll get to some other leg things. Keep breathing through. Remember, if you're doing the squats, you're sitting back in the heels and keeping the chest lifted up. Let's do one more. All right, great job. All right, so we're going to come back to the seated variation, and we're going to do the hip movement, the outer thigh and hip movement. So everybody needs to be seated for this one. All right, so go ahead and cross your handles over. I like to do that just to shorten it up so you've got a little bit more tightness there. And we're going to do the knee lift and tap out. So alternating sides. So it's a lift and tap out. You want to go as wide as you can without having to scoot around in your chair. Think about the outer part of the glute, the stabilizers, and the outer thigh. This is what we're going for here. Go as wide as you can with that. Just remember to keep breathing. One more. All right, good. So let's go ahead and take the band out from under the feet now, and we're going to do a few with the upper body, and then we're going to also do some abs. So go ahead and bring the band around behind. We're going to begin with the chest press. So you're going to be around mid-back, behind the body, underneath the arms. For this one, you're going underneath the arms. Then go ahead and shorten it up here. So I've got the handles, the extra length of band here, and we're doing that press forward again. Now, if you'd like to add a little abs here, go ahead and do some bonus abs here. As you come back, remember not to relax against your chair. You're going to let your abs do the work. Again, the option to just do the chest press, just hitting the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the pectorals. Exhale as you press, inhale as you release. And as always, modify if you need to and stop and take a break. Get some water anytime that you need to. Please feel free. All right, so we're going to try a little different one today. We're going to try a diagonal across behind you. Now this is an option. You always have the option to do this in front of the body if your shoulders don't like this. So what you're going to do, I'm going to turn for you so you can see. Hopefully you can see here. So I've got one hand on the top, the other hand on the bottom. So hopefully you can see that. And then you're just pulling the top and the bottom evenly. All right? So you're extending both arms out equally. And then you can take it across, kind of on the diagonal across your back. Again, if this hurts your shoulders, if your shoulders have any pain doing this, you can do the same movement in front of the body. You can do that diagonal pull in front of the body. Good, let's do one more on this side. Excellent, all right. So let's switch around, do the best you can. If your shoulders will allow you, switch so the other hand is on top. All right. Extending all the way out, full extension. As always, adjust your band. If you need to give yourself more slack or less slack, we're going for some shoulders and arms here. This is a really good tricep one, especially if you come out to full extension. You're going to feel that. Good. 2 more of those. All right, great job. Go ahead and bring it around to the front. I'm going to come back to the chair. All right, so hopefully you were able to do the diagonal pull. We are going to move on to some rotator cuff here. I always like to make sure that we do the small muscles of the shoulders. So right here, tucking the elbows in by your sides, very important. Do not lift your arms. Your upper arms are not going to lift up. You don't want to see any daylight under your upper arms. Keep breathing. One more. Okay, so now we're going to do some band pulls and also some abs. So for this one, we are going to turn quarter, 1/4 turn in your chair. Remember, if you don't have a sturdy chair, if it feels like it's going to move or slide, push it up against a wall. Make sure this is not going to move out from under you at any point. So we're going to go for an overhand grip this time. We're going to keep the chest up, lengthen the spine, and as you pull the band apart, you're leaning back. You're doing that abdominal movement here where your abs are holding you there in place. Exhale. Inhale. Remember to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. No shrugging, no tightness there. We don't need that. So as you're pulling the band apart, the band is coming into your chest. A little bit more for the upper body here. Good. One more on this side. We're going to hold it just a second here. Extra hold. All right. Go ahead and relax that down for a moment. And before we move on to the other side, let's do our knee lifts here. So you have the option to hold on to the back of your chair if you would prefer a little bit more security. We're just going to be doing those knee lifts one leg at a time. So nice and easy, lift and lower, and try to visualize using your abdominals to lift the leg. That can be a little bit tricky if you're not familiar with that, but that mind-muscle connection, thinking about using the abs. You're still leaning back so that you're doing that isometric part of it, but then we're adding the movement with the legs. Keep breathing through it. We got one more of those. All right, good work. Come all the way up. So take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel free to grab water anytime. As always, don't wait until you're thirsty because by then it's a little bit too late. All right, I'm going to move back just a bit and we're going to do the other side with the rotations first. Or excuse me, not the rotations, the lean back. We're going to do the pull aparts with the lean back. So go ahead and sit all the way up, extend the arms forward. Same thing as the first side. As you lean back, pull that band in towards your body, release it out. Good, chest up, shoulders back. Make sure you're not shrugging towards your ears. Keep that neck relaxed. Good, just a couple more of those. All right, so let's go ahead and relax with the band here for a moment. We're going to do the knee lifts again. Make sure you're still lengthening your spine. Pull your belly button in, lean back, hold that position. Again, you have the option to hang on to the back of the chair if you want a little bit more security. Otherwise, you don't have to do that. And we're doing the slow alternating knee lifts. The key on these is not to go too quickly. Take your time with it. We don't want to just rush through it. Again, try to visualize using your abdominals to help you lift your leg. But keep breathing through it. Make sure that you're not holding your breath as you think about what you're doing. Last two. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and come all the way up. Big inhale, big exhale. Put your band aside. Go ahead and take a quick water break if you need it. And then we are going to move on and work on a few dumbbell exercises. Please make sure that you stay hydrated. And again, whatever you have available for weights, it can be cans, it can be jars, bottles, bags of pet food, whatever you have available that's approximately the appropriate weight that you want to use. All right, so we are going to start with a low to high. So again, I'm going to give you the seated option first, and then I'll show you the standing option if you want to do that. So if you're going to go standing, you're going to step out to about hip width again. But I'll start with that seated option. So you're going to grab your weights, engage your abs, and start with the press up, then bring them all the way back down. Light tap to the floor, just like that. Standing option, you're going to add all the way up. Let me scoot back a little bit. All the way up with the overhead press, and then all the way back down. So we're making this a full body movement. Light tap down, all the way back up overhead. Light tap down. So that full body movement. Good. Nice. One more. All right, we're going to do a few bonus ones seated there just to work on those deltoids a little more. Make sure anytime you're doing an overhead press, you're engaging the abdominals. Keep your lower back safe. That's why. 2 and 1. All right, go ahead and take a break there from that one. We're going to work on the triceps next. We move in a little bit, and you're going to move forward in your chair. So to the front half of your chair. Elbows are going to be behind you, and we're doing a little bit more work for the back of the arms here. So the key with this one, stabilize the shoulders. Make sure that you're not moving at the shoulders, you're only moving at the elbows, and then fully extend the elbows out. I'm going to turn sideways just to show you what it should look like. All right, you're doing this with both sides, but I'm just showing you what it'll look like. Come out to full extension there. That's the important part. That's where the triceps are going to be working there. One more. All right, good job. Go ahead and slide back in your chair. We're going to do our quadricep lift. So you can use one or both weights, depending on how much difficulty that you want to use. A lot of people have stronger legs and upper body, so you may be able to use a little bit more for this one. Go ahead and start with the leg extended, and we're going to do that quadricep lift there. So we're flexing the muscle, lift and lower. Think about that muscle. Again, mind-muscle connection there. Now slow it down a little bit. Slow lift, slow lower. Slow lift, slow lower. A couple more of those. Working on that quadricep. All right, good job. Go ahead and switch over to the other side. Make sure that your weight is always above the knee joint, never resting on the knee joint. And we'll start with that regular tempo. Lift, lift. Again, think about that muscle, mind-muscle connection there. Think about that quadricep. Those muscles are what you're going to use to get up out of a chair. So very important to strengthen those. All right, let's do this slower tempo. So slow lift, slow lower. Squeeze that muscle. Slow lift, slow lower, lift, lower. One more time. All right, good job. Let's use both weights to do some toe taps and calf exercises. So I know that you cannot see my feet, but let's see if we can make this work. Let me scoot in a little bit here. Make this work, and it's not gonna work. All right, there we go. You get to see my feet for a couple minutes. All right, I want you to be able to see this though. So we're gonna do the toe tap first, then we're gonna do the heel tap. So we've just got the weights resting on the legs, above the knees as always. Now this time when you do your toe tap, you're gonna do in, out. And of course, I'm doing it in socks, but feel free to do it in shoes if you like the support or need the support. Heels, same thing. So always feel free to have a pair of indoor shoes that you can use for more support, more stability. All right, now we're gonna alternate toes, heels. Now, see if you can speed this up. Toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels. Don't think about it too much. Toes, heels, toes, heels. I'm confusing myself. Last set. All right, good work. Go ahead and take just one of your weights, and we're going to come stand behind the chair. So I'm going to back up a little bit. The chair is just going to be there for support. What we're going to be doing is an offset lunge. So I'm actually going to move my chair off to the side, but you can still have it there for support. It's totally fine to use it. You're only going to be using one weight though, so that it's pulling on one side to make it a little bit more challenging for you. Now, opposite foot forward. So right here, if you have the weight in the right hand, you're stepping forward with the left hand or left foot, or vice versa. So we're going to take that full step forward, that split stance, back heel is lifted up, chair is there if you need it for balance. See if you can do all the way to parallel with the upper leg. Partials are fine too. You're going to feel a little bit of wobble, insecurity. So that's where your chair comes in if you need it. Shoulders back, chest up, chin up, and the weight is in your front heel. You're also squeezing those glutes. Good, one more there. Nice. Now while we're here, let's do a quick balance exercise. So we're still in that split stance. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. But you're going to take your weight forward, and we're going to do our rotations. You're going to feel a lot more balance challenge than you would in a normal straddle stance, which is what we call the feet just standing hip to shoulder width apart. little bit more challenge there. Chair if you need it. Now try coming back to center and close your eyes. All right, go ahead and open those eyes, shake your legs out. We're gonna do the other side. All right, so we're switching legs and we're switching the weight to the other side. So again, it's the opposite side. All right, so you've got that extra challenge there with the weight just on one side. Lift that back heel up, drop that back knee down towards the floor. Partials are fine. So this is what we call an offset lunge. That means you've only got the weight on one side, so your core is having to work harder to keep it from pulling you over. And just like earlier with the quadricep lifts, you may be able to go a little bit heavier on this one for the lower body exercises. If it feels too light, go ahead and find something heavier. Good, one more. Okay, so again, we're gonna do that balanced one, so go ahead and bring your back heel back down, bring your weight to the front, and then we're rotating one side and then the other side. Take your time. Back to center. Think about your obliques helping you turn there. Come back to center. Don't forget to breathe. All right, very nice. Go ahead and put your weight down. And last thing we're gonna do, just some leg circles for glute and hamstring here. So if you would step around behind your chair, you have it there for support. We're going to be drawing circle with your foot. Again, if you need to take a little break, go ahead, but otherwise just nice and slowly drawing a circle with your foot. Now, option to let go of the chair for the extra balance challenge. Think about squeezing the glutes. One more. And change direction. Nice and slowly. We want to take out any momentum out of this. Squeeze the muscle. Squeeze your backside muscle. One more. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. Switch sides and starting with those front to back circles again. Option to let go of your chair if you want that extra balance challenge, or go ahead and just keep using it. If you need it, go ahead and use it. That's what it's there for. And other direction. Nice and slow. Take out any swinging, any momentum. 3, 2, and 1. Great job, everybody. Shake your legs out. We're just going to do a couple of stretches real quick here to finish off with. Please look back onto my stretching video to do that entire complement of stretches. I am going to do a couple of the favorites. First one is the modified downward dog. So go ahead and grab your chair. Great big step back. I always love to start with this one. So you're going to bring your ears down by your arms. Push your tailbone towards the wall behind you. Lengthen your back. Stretch your back, shoulders, hamstrings, calves. And then very slowly come in. Make sure that you're not stepping up too quickly. And grab the hands together behind your back. This is your chest and shoulder opener. Rotate back. You're lifting like so. Lifting behind you as far as you're comfortable, and ear to shoulder. Sorry, no doggies today. I had to close the door. It was kind of noisy outside and downstairs, so hopefully they can come to the next video. Other side, ear to shoulder. I know some of you like the doggies. And then come back to center and finish with the chin, just tucking down towards the chest, and make sure your shoulders are still down. And release that out. All right, our final stretch. Inhale and exhale, open one more time. Big inhale and exhale. Awesome job, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.